Why is it so cold?
I don't know. It's happy Sunday, everybody. I think we went from, so a week and a half ago, we were still in the 80s here in Vegas, and now we're down to the low 60s, and it's windy. And low 60s doesn't sound like much until you have no humidity, and now we're freezing. Our tuchus off.
Freezing. It's very chilly in the house.
No turning the heat on.
Not yet. Not yet. Not quite yet. But we are very cold.
We are. Happy Sunday, everyone.
What's happening, everybody? How you doing?
We had a busy week this week.
We did. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
We had our friends, Scott and Shelley, childhood friend and lifelong friends of mine that were here in town with us for a week, and we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of fun things with them. But man, I'll tell you, when you're on every day and you're like not just sitting at your desk not talking to anyone for 8 hours a day because you're just sitting at a computer, like talking all day and all night and hanging out. And I think we went out 4 or 5 nights this week.
Luckily, like one night,
none of us drink, so I mean that wasn't much of it. We had a couple of beers maybe, but
they came on Sunday night and then they went and stayed by themselves on the Strip for one night on Wednesday night. And so it was nice having like the one night where we could just get in bed at like 6 o'clock.
We were so lazy
and we were so tired. And then they left yesterday midday, and we both had work that we needed to do, and then we were like,
F it.
Let's just we seriously got into bed at like noon
with the dogs.
And that's all we did all flipping day.
We call it bed rotting.
Yeah.
We watched trash TV.
Yep.
And napped on and off and snuggled dogs.
Yep.
Even ate dinner in bed, leftover pizza in bed.
It's cold because that's too much work making it warm
Couldn't
again.
be bothered to do anything else. So yeah, I mean, I'm well rested today. I'm fine.
Sort of. I mean, I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do real stuff. And I called today's show is Calm in the Storm. We have like 5 days before Saturday morning. Ryan and Allie, Rally Roots, are going to be coming for a whole week, which we're very excited about. But we have a lot of stuff to get done in the meantime. Mm-hmm. Because we weren't able to work much this last week, and of course we won't be working much when they're here. Although on the positive note, I mean, obviously we get to hang out with them, so we're super excited about that. But on a positive note, because they are also resellers, we will have plenty of time that we'll be going out and sourcing, like we'll be doing the bins and stuff like that.
Oh, Allie is so excited that she has decided they're going to do a bins challenge where she's coming here with the clothes on her back and underwear. And she pretty much wants to source at the bins all week for anything else.
Any clothing to wear.
She's going to wear.
But, so like our friends that just left, they're not resellers. So it's like we didn't go to thrift stores or do anything like that. And so even though we won't, get a whole lot done at home as, other than the bare minimum, at least we'll be stocking up on inventory for future listing. So, but we had a ton of fun for sure.
Mm-hmm. We did have a lot of fun. We actually did something I have never done. I've been here for 12 Halloweens. I have lived in Las Vegas. And I think I went to a Halloween party once in those 12 years, but usually we stay home. When you have dogs, you know how it is. If you have dogs, you know what I mean. Ringing of the doorbell and the kids outside, the dogs lose their shit for hours at a time. So basically, we've never really gone out on Halloween. We went out and went down to Fremont Street on Halloween.
It was packed.
It was crazy packed, but we had a lot of fun.
And we went down early, which was very much the smart thing to do.
I would do
Vicki's
it again.
Suggestion, we went down there like around 4, and so it was just normal Fremont, people out there and everything. And then at some point we went to eat. And when we got done eating and we came back out onto Fremont, it was like, oh my God.
The crowd
never seen that many people there before, but it was really fun. And
the people watching in the costumes were
is what made
super
it great.
creative.
Like, I don't know that I'd want to be there for, let's say, New Year's Eve. I definitely wouldn't want to be there for New Year's Eve or any other time when it's that packed. I think the fact that it was Halloween and people were wearing the most ridiculous costumes made it super fun. And we were there watching... our friend was subbing in as a guitar player for one of the bands down there, 80s Station. And so it was just, as the name implies, all 80s music. So we were having so much fun dancing around and just
dancing
enjoying it.
and singing. We played a few slot machines. Like, I think it was key that we went down early because the crowd built up around us and we didn't have to fight to try to find somewhere to park or anything like that. So
Yeah, no,
it was
great.
easy in and out. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. I think sales, I'm looking in the chat here, a lot of people talking about slow sales.
Oh, yeah,
We
rough.
talked about it a little bit before, and I'll continue to say, regardless of what your stance is on the election, and please don't have a political conversation in the chat, but this is very common this time of the year when it's an election season. October, this is a very, very slow start to Q4. Every 4 years, October and early November are very slow. You'll be sitting here wondering, where's my Q4? What's happening?
Yeah.
Why is everything so slow? Spending goes on a little bit of a freeze.
You'll see in our numbers for sure. I haven't sold anything on Etsy all weekend. I got nothing
You'll
on Etsy.
actually see it. You'll see, and then what's going to happen is, regardless of what party is elected, you will see a surge in buying and in selling.
Yeah.
So the latter part of this year, you should see it happen. You should see it change up. You're going to see an increase in sales. But yeah, the first few weeks in October and early November are a little bit rough in an election year, and they
Yep.
always are. So it will be, you'll see a surge. It'll change. And
Yeah,
in the
for
chat,
sure.
I do see people saying, "I love the Roots." We love them too. They're dear friends of ours. We really love hanging out with them and spending time with them.
They're a lot of fun.
It's nice to have they come and hang out, and they're very low maintenance. We like a lot of the same things. That's why we get along so well. We're all foodies. We like to try out new restaurants and do that kind of stuff. So
Maybe we can do the bins every morning.
we can do them almost. We can do it almost every morning.
I
for
know
sure.
they love it. Well, they had never been to the bins until they came to visit us last year, and that was when they finally went to the bins for the first time, and now they're kind of addicted to it. And now we've gone to the bins with them in Colorado. We've gone to the bins with them in
Dallas.
Dallas.
And they've gone to the bins in the
Yeah.
Tampa area, which the Tampa bins are pretty lame. We've been.
Very true. Very true.
It's not as good as it is here. They like ours.
Tommy wants to give a shout out to Dana. We're going to see her tonight. We'll tell her you say hello.
We are going to go see Miss Dana tonight and help her do her shipping tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you that are friends with Dana, she did update everyone on her social media yesterday with the help of Johnny, her husband. She is not too much has changed. She is progressing. Her
very
eyesight
slowly.
is coming back slowly but surely. She will need at least one more surgery. She has had one surgery already. And it's just very slow going, and it's very frustrating to have no vision and not be able to do things for herself. And she can't list, she can't do anything to help her business. She can, if she has one item at a time, she's been able to talk Johnny through helping her ship.
Yeah.
If she has more than one or two items, I've been going to help her ship. We haven't been since last Sunday because her sales have been really slow. But now we've got some stuff to ship for her tonight. So it's been tough, because her sales are suffering, and that's obviously the 50% of their household income.
Yeah.
But she's doing okay. She's going to be okay. It's not permanent, and she'll be all right.
But now it's been like something like 40 something days.
44 days.
Yeah. So
44 days of...
it's a long time to not be able to be really doing anything and not knowing when the end is coming. So hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, we will send her your well wishes, of course. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the show. This is our regular Sunday show. We break it up into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our numbers for the last week, our gross sales across all of our platforms. And then we break down some of the costs from fees to shipping and, of course, cost of goods. Middle part of the show, we look at our sales highlights for the last week, our sad, meager sales highlights for the last week. And then the last
Mine
part
were
of the
not
show.
terrible.
How dare you?
They were great. They're certainly not Q4
Our
numbers.
friends in the chat do not want to hear you say that yours were not terrible. Okay?
They weren't great.
Listen, I'm here to commiserate with my friends. We don't need you being an asshole.
With your fellow crappy sales peeps.
Yes, how dare you?
We've all had
How
crappy
you
sales.
disgust me. Patu. I spit on you and your insults. Patu. Anyway, last part of the show, we look at our goals, things that we said we wanted to do this last week and what we're going to be doing going forward. And of course, we always invite you guys to join us in that as well. and speak out to the universe the things that you're hoping to accomplish here in the near future. So let's go ahead and we'll share my screen, and now Vikki will say horrible things about my sales and how pathetic they are, like you always do. Like you always, don't act like you don't. These people have been with us through thick and thin for years.
Literally thick and thin.
And they know the very horrible things that you say
I'm so
to
abusive.
me about my numbers.
I am so abusive. I know.
Ridiculous. Hey, now that is very rude. Be nice, Katie. She's keeping the lights on. I pay half the bills, okay? I pay half. I pay my half. I don't even have a sugar mama. It's really rude.
It's true. I'm no longer a sugar mama. Let's be real.
You never were a sugar mama. No.
I at least had the income to be a sugar mama 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
but you're just not generous about it, so.
Rude.
I'm just saying. I pay half. All right, so you can see my numbers have definitely dropped last week. I still managed to get over 1,000 in the last week on eBay. So, I mean, when you compare it to last year, I don't even know if I had a single week last year where I was over 1,000. So 25 eBay orders, 7 Etsy, 7 Poshmark. I will say my Poshmark, it was okay this last week, but I'm definitely getting more sales again now that they went back to the 20% seller fees. So it is what it is. And then 6 between Grilled, Mercari, and Depop. 5 of those were Depop. I don't know what's going on with Depop, but apparently they're going to give me some more sales. So 45 outgoing orders. eBay, $1,075.52. Etsy, real sad, $176.16. I mean, Poshmark beat Etsy. That's crazy. $201. And then Grailed, Mercari, and Depop, $187. And like I said, none of that's Grailed. Only one is Mercari, and the Mercari one's like a $30 sale. So Depop actually did okay this week. For Depop, that is. Total gross sales, a very, very sad for me, $1,639.68. Sad for fourth quarter for sure. Shipping, $164.96. You can see the breakdown of fees there. And then $100 for cost of goods. My total net sales barely got over 1,000, $1,188.36. Did not hit my goal of $40 average gross average sale price. I'm at $36.44. My net $26.41. So pretty sad.
Yeah, it's been Turtlebug Inc. Nice to see you in the chat.
Yes, hello.
I hope you and the little man are doing well. She had a baby back in December and has been a little bit MIA, raising a baby, being a mom, doing that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But hey, you know what? I call making enough money online to cover expensive daycare a win too. That's for sure. Pretty good.
Seriously.
So,
okay, so let's look at your numbers that are just so much better than mine.
They're not that much better. Okay, my eBay was weak. My eBay has been weak for several weeks, except for those 2 big consignment orders that I had over the last month. But as you know, guys know, I only got 25% of that. So 29 eBay orders, 17 on Etsy. Etsy was very good this week. 8 on Poshmark, 3 on Mercari. I don't even have anything on Depop anymore. I let all my stuff expire. So 57 total outgoing orders. $13.67 and change on eBay, $8.88 on Etsy, $2.49 on Posh, $107 on Mercari for a total of $26.11.65. $2.28 shipping, and then you see the breakdown of the rest of the fees. My total cost of goods was only $156, so my total net $19.36.40. My fees are pretty low for everything, so that wasn't horrible.
Not bad.
Just about $46 gross average sale price, which I find to be a little bit low for me, and my net is just about $34.
Not too shabby.
Terrible.
So sales not great, although I will say just with how freaking exhausted we are and how much stuff we really need to do this week before the roots get here, I can't say I'm like totally mad about not having to do a huge amount of shipping tomorrow. So that's, I guess, that's the silver lining there.
Yeah, my weekend sales have been pretty slow too. So.
Yeah, I think I've got like 6 or 7 things for eBay and like 1 on Poshmark, 1 on Depop, 1 on Mercari, and then nothing on Etsy. So
I have, I think 16 orders to ship so far total.
Yeah.
But anyway, not great, but. Now we'll talk about some of our highlights. And
let's just jump right into it.
Yeah,
What's this fancy thing?
Look how cute it is. This was a bins find. It took me a while to sell this, but look how cute she is. $55. This is like a Katy sale for me. Like,
I know, that's cute.
It's got a cute little vintage crew neck.
I don't know what color it is, but that's okay.
It's white. Why don't you know it's white?
That's white. That's...
Oh, shut up. Jesus Christmas. Like, you can't tell it's freaking white.
I don't know.
I didn't photograph it. It looks like I did because it's a
right.
pretty bad photograph, but I didn't.
Well, no, I can tell you didn't because I don't see the shadow of your phone.
Ugh. She's such a bitch today, guys. I don't know, but Katy definitely drank her bitch juice.
Rude. All right.
It's cute. Look at a little puffy
cute.
paint. I paid about $1 for it. It sold for $55. I was hoping it would sell faster and probably sell for more, but that's okay.
It's pretty cute.
It is cute.
All right, first one for me. It did not sell for this much. This shirt sold for $35, but this is a t-shirt.
What does that say? Can't even read it. Look at the pictures.
Well, you can't read it because it's a faded shirt, you weirdo. That's when you look at the nice, crisp close-up. This is a shirt that Vikki actually got at the bins and gave to me in a very rare moment when she was being nice to me.
Good grief. She is really rude. I rarely come home
No,
from the
she
bins
usually brings me a couple things.
without giving her
But
something.
I also do that for you, to be fair. Anyway, Mouse on the Barroom. It's an Irish poem, and anyway, she finally like listened to me when I said every time I tell her like I buy the really beat up ratty stuff, and this is probably something normally she would have just passed right up, but she thought to herself, you know what, Katy would totally get this, and so she got it for me. And I sold it for $35. I had it priced up because it is like this classic Irish poem, and I was like, you never know. And but sold it for $35 plus shipping. I was very happy with that, but it is seriously worn the F out. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at it. Just ready rat. Okay.
It's a mouse, not a rat.
Whatever. Do you actually have more than one of these?
I do.
Okay.
So I picked up a bunch of these vintage hats that were new with tags at one of the thrift stores that we went to a couple months ago. It took me a while to get them listed. They sat in a pile. So this is one I got listed, and you see the sale price right there. It sold for what you see there, $69.95. I think I only have one or two of these hats left, and I probably had 8 or 9 of them altogether.
Really? All the same one? That's crazy.
No, different styles, but there were 3 or 4 that were this style.
Okay.
And I only have one left. What was different about them is, yes, they're vintage, and they're a certain look. Like, you can picture like Samuel L. Jackson wearing this in a throwback 70s film or something. But what was different about them is that they're small. They have like the guy who wears this hat, or girl that wears this hat, has to have a small head. So anyway, sold for $69.95. I paid $5 a piece for them at the thrift store. They were not a bins buy, and I've sold a bunch of them. So
not too shabby.
yeah, I mean, usually I don't pick up hats, but I did this time.
Lori says that you'd be proud of her. She had a Halston suit, no size tags, took good pics and measurements, and sold it for $90.
Good job,
Almost didn't
Lori.
post it.
Yes, I am proud of you.
There you go. All right, next up for me. This brand always seems to do pretty well. It's just the challenge is titling it so that you don't get in trouble, but people can still find it.
Really? You still put assholes?
I know.
Okay.
But you have to add, you can't just put the word by itself or else the bots get mad at you. Anyway, assholes live forever. And this one I think has a fun graphic on it. I'll be a good girl in hell. And I've had this listed, it's not vintage or anything. I've had it listed for maybe a few months or so, but I ended up selling it for $45. I found this at the bins, paid probably like $3 for it. But yeah, anytime I see that brand, I think you found a belt one time, but you gave it to Dana. I
gave Dana one of the belts, but yes, I found it's been. I'm the one that told you about this brand.
Yes, you did.
Found a couple things, but yeah.
Yes, you did.
It sells well.
It does. All right. Next up for you.
This is just a vintage. This is a brand that I do pick up whenever I find it, but I don't find it a heck of a lot. The Dimitri. It's a vintage ski brand. You can find jackets and sweaters, usually sometimes a sweater vest. And I've had this for quite a while. I'm going to tell you, I can tell by that background. I took this photo. Maybe Dana did. I've had this photo, had to have been 5 freaking years at this
Yeah.
point, at least. So it sold for $69.95, the price you see there. Although I've had it forever, I guarantee this is one that I have reworked. I removed the photo in the back, the background, so it's a crisp white background, and I changed the title around, and I probably used a different photo. And this actually sold on a relist. So again, go get those old listings revamped, and they do sell.
Yeah.
When it's that stale. So
Very nice.
look at that, Adrian. Adrian is in the chat. Our friend Adrian here, who has been on a worldwide travel
She
tour.
went like a freaking 60-day vacation.
60-day
Adrian,
world vacation.
Who do you think you are? Going on vacation for
60
60 days. That's too much for me. I'm
She's
like,
been everywhere.
if we're gone for like a week, it's too much. We want to come home. I couldn't imagine like what you did, like a 20-day Alaska cruise and then 40 days all over Asia and all over the place. So
Asia and Southeast Asia. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I've been following your adventures.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too,
that you
me too.
post the pictures and everything. It's so fun.
but it was a good timing to like miss all the ridiculous heat here. Of course, it was probably pretty hot in Asia. I don't really know, but this time of year. All right, next up for me, I sold some stuff that Vicky will roll her eyes about and sigh loudly and be annoyed. But this is a shirt that I got. I think this one I got in Colorado, Universal Seaman Sales, or I might have gotten it from Jen Goodell. I can't remember. But
We stand behind every cow we serve. That is so wrong. Who bought this shirt? That's so creepy.
And they paid the price that you see there, $59.99 plus shipping. This is a ridiculous
It's a
shirt.
t-shirt that's about bull semen, for crying out loud. That's so gross. Sammy Seaman.
Sammy Seaman.
Jesus. Who markets this?
I don't know. Anyway, it's a real company, I think. Anyway, yeah, it's cows. If you like cows, come on.
Yeah, okay, I get it. You like cows, but come
Somebody
on now.
paid $65.95 for this. So
Ridiculous.
anyway, put your phone down. Put your phone down. It's your turn.
Okay, so these were a bins find, and it's not that Jessica Simpson is a great brand. I generally would not pick up Jessica Simpson anything, but these were nice boots. They were nice, thick, nicely made suede boots, and I probably paid $4 to $5 for them at the bins. They were at least 2 to 3 pounds. But they're great shoes. They're a great looking boot. They sold for the price you see there, $69.95 plus shipping, and had they been my size, I might have kept these because they were really nicely made and I really liked them. But they were small.
They were small.
They were size 7. I'm a 9.
All right, so I've sold, I don't have everything listed yet, but I got a lot of the stuff listed from when we went to that big church sale a few weeks ago. But I did get all of the racing t-shirts and Harley t-shirts, and I've already sold like a number of them. I already made my money back because I think I spent like $90, I think. I've already made my money back for sure. This shirt, it's just a really cool, this is a drag racing dude.
You had 2 and it both sold, it says?
Yeah, Chris Messin. I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, but based on, it didn't have a date on it, but based on the tag, this is like a Y2K. And then he signed them, and there were 2 of them, and they're pretty much new, both signed. And when I looked them up, the comps and everything, it looked like the guys signed lots of shirts. So there were plenty of comps out there, so it wasn't anything I was going to price super high. And so I put them up for $41.99, and they were up for less than a day, and somebody offered me $35 each. So I got an offer for $70 for both of them, and I was like, you know what?
Oh, yeah. Sell that
I'll
fast.
go ahead and take that because I didn't think I was going to sell them for much more. So that was a good flip because all the shirts were 3 for $5. So I did not spend a lot.
So I wanted to talk about a couple of the comments in the chat. First, Christine's chat about her dollar coat sale. Keep an eye out for trench coats. I just want to say my friend Sammy, who does a lot of stuff with vintage, does a lot of vintage pop-ups. And actually, I learned almost everything I know about vintage from her, by the way. And if you're coming to the Reseller Remix, you may just get to meet her. But she has been selling the heck out of beige trench coats.
Like your classic
like your
trench
classic, you get London Fog, Burberry. It doesn't really matter what the brand is, but the classic long
Private detective.
yeah, Carmen Sandiego trench coat. Keep an eye out for those. I pick them up at the bins, or I'd pick it up for $1. I wouldn't necessarily buy them for $10 or $15 elsewhere, but you can get $65 to $100 for all of them now. It's a new, I don't want to say it's a new trend, but it's a new old trend that's coming back. The young women are wearing them. So keep an eye out for those, by the way. And then my next thing was a question there from Elizabeth about hard goods. If you have clear glass, how do you prevent the background from showing in pictures? Okay, there's a couple of ways that people do this. Some people fill the glass with milk. Some people will put a white piece of like printer paper in there to show.
Like crumple it up in there?
Not crumple it, but
oh, I
just
see.
to
Yeah.
put it in there just to show that you can't, so you can see the item. And then another thing to do is if you have a black background, clear glass photographs really well on black background. If you have a black felt or black velvet that you can photograph on, those are the two ways that that I know to make it, pop a little bit better. And then yes, totally Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, for sure. Jen, go to those church sales. Find lots of really, really cool t-shirts for me. That's what I have to say. LOL. Yeah, definitely find those trench coats.
Yeah, get those trench coats listed. It was not something I had picked up. Like, come on now, we find them. They're at every thrift store, right? And I generally skip right over them. Obviously not a Burberry one. I would grab that. But in general, the London Fog, they're a dime a dozen. They're all over the, the thrift stores, the bins, whatever. I normally would not pick that up, and now I'm going to.
Yep.
So.
All right, what you got here?
This is a vintage dress that I got this from Robin in Florida when I purchased a huge lot of plus size clothing from her. And it's been listed for a few months now, and I have paid on average $4 per item because it was a large pickup. And this finally sold. It sold for the price you see there, $129.95.
Nice.
Yeah, and it had couple little flaws you can see on the lace. I think the second picture or the third picture, it's got a little bit of discoloration on the lace trim. But still a very 60s, 70s type of dress, but in a nice voluptuous size, which is good. So
nice. All right, next for me, look, I sold a women's sweater. A women's sweater. I don't know why I said that. Sweater. I got this at the bins, and it didn't have a tag or anything like that. And then I was able to find, I found the same one on Etsy, and I think it was one of those ones that like probably like bought a pattern and made it like it was handmade or something. I don't know. It didn't have tags, but it was vintage. And I ended up selling it for the price you see there, $95.99.
That's a super cute sweater. I would have kept that if it wasn't worth so much. She will not give me anything that's worth too much.
You didn't ask for this.
I would have kept it to wear it.
I think it would have been too big. Well, maybe not.
No, I wear a medium.
You never
now.
said you wanted it. Anyway, I would have made you pay for it though. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I won't. I'm not paying $95 for anything. I'm too cheap.
Anyway, it's just really, really cute mohair sweater.
I'd wear that.
$95.99.
It's cute.
Paid maybe $3 for it. So,
guys, I have seriously had to get rid of 80% of my wardrobe, and I'm sitting here in a sweatshirt that, I could fit 4 people in right now because it is comfortable and it's what I still have. But I don't have. I'm slowly trying to rebuild my clothing.
it's all right. You and Allie are gonna be able to do lots of shopping when they're here.
Yep. Allie said she'll help me
Yep.
source for myself.
Yep.
This was just a cute bins find. This has been listed for a little bit, but it was a really cute. Somebody bought it for a Halloween costume because they asked me to priority send it, and I was very excited. And I was like, "Would you please send me a picture of your Halloween costume? Because that's what I want to see. What if you're buying something for a costume or a theme? I want to see."
Yeah. Did they send you a picture?
No, they said they wouldn't. They didn't.
Rude. Maybe they still will.
Maybe they still will. It's a few days. They've had
Yeah.
some time. They've got some time still. But I thought it was pretty cool. So I probably paid $1, maybe $1.50 for it.
Yeah.
It sold for $56 on sale. And it was just a fun 80s, sweater.
Very fun.
Cool pattern.
All right. I just got these like a couple of weeks ago at the bins. I actually found, so this is a set. They're identical. You can see, one side's this and then this. And they were in really good condition. And I found these two, and then there was one other one that still is up for sale. And the other one's a Halloween one as well. It's really cool. And so, like I said, I just got this like within the last couple of weeks. And so I got them photographed and listed as soon as possible. And these actually sold on Halloween Day.
They're so cute.
They're really cute. And when I was doing comps, the comps were kind of all over the place. These aren't like super rare. This particular set is not super rare. And so, but I still priced it up a little higher. Like there's plenty of them out there that are like going for like 25, $30 for the set. But I went ahead and priced it the way I wanted to price it. And they still sold, but they're super, super cute. Made in the US. Probably 90s, maybe 80s, but
Late 80s, early 90s.
they're
would be my
super, super
guess.
cute. And I was very excited that I sold linens, everyone. I sold linens. This week I sold linens and a women's sweater.
I don't know what she took before the show today, guys, but seriously, she's a little bit cracked out, I feel like.
What's this?
Okay. So, I purchased this. This was a bins find. This is just a beautiful nightgown, and it's in like liquid satin, which was very popular in the 30s and the 40s. This is a 1940s nightgown. It sold for $62.96, the price you see there. Just really, really pretty. I wish I wore this type of thing because I find so much of it, and I find it's so pretty. But nope, I'll just sell it.
Yeah.
I never pass up pretty lingerie or pretty nightgowns like this, whether they're nylon, they're satin, they're silk.
Well, if you buy them at the bins, you're paying like pennies for them.
Yeah.
They're so light.
Like 50 cents.
And they don't
maybe.
take up any space, really. All right. Next up. Now, this is another item that was gifted to me. It ended up selling for $35. Another one Vicky can roll her eyes and sigh loudly about. It says, rugby players do it with 2 hookers for 40 minutes nonstop both ways. And now I'm trying to remember who gave this to me. I have it narrowed down to, it might be Angie, our friend Angie from Kansas City. It's either Angie or it's Angie and Lisa, or possibly Yuri. But I'm pretty sure it's from our sourcing trip
Our
crew.
sourcing crew.
But I think it might be Angie, but I can't remember for sure. So if anybody who's watching this knows the truth.
Well, both Angie and Angelisa are on a cruise right now.
Oh.
Separately. Didn't you see they met up the other day? Because
Yeah,
they're
I did
leaving
see
from
that.
the same port but going on different ships.
I did see that. And if it wasn't any of them that gave this to me, then I feel terrible and I'm sorry. I apologize. But
And Tommy, shut your mouth. Yes, it was wrinkled. How are
Yeah.
you supposed to iron satin?
yeah. Yeah, you shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Tommy. Anyway, this is just a funny, inappropriate shirt. I did play
Very
rugby. I
inappropriate.
did play rugby at OSU, just so you know.
With hookers?
Well, yeah, it's a position. There are hookers. So, next up for you.
All right. This coat was part of a pickup I did about a month ago from our friend Susan, who may or may not be watching. Here locally, I purchased a bunch of fur coats and some other coats from her, and this was one of the items that came in the grouping. I did end up paying, I think it was like $30 to $40 per item if you averaged it out, and which is more than I would have paid for this, don't get me wrong, but overall the fur coats will sell for a little bit more, so it was kind of like an overall amount. But it sold fairly quickly. It sold for $69.96, and I would not have purchased something for $40 to sell for $69, let me be clear. But it was overall, I had this jacket and another jacket that is already sold, and I've gotten half of my money back.
That's pretty good.
I've gotten more than half of my money back toward the whole buy-in with
Right.
another 6 items to go that are of higher dollar amounts. So
Nice.
it's just a classic car coat. This one, just a nice vintage men's car coat.
Very nice. All right, next up for me is just Depop. Like I said, I've had 5 sales on Depop this last week, which I go plenty of weeks where I'm lucky if I sold one thing on Depop. So I'm not really sure. They did recently change something where people are able to send offers and they put their credit card in and everything and it sells right away. I don't know if that's happened yet. It seems like I've had more where they're paying like right away, but it's not. They don't really make it clear on the app whether or not somebody sent it that way or not. So I don't know. But this is just a cool volleyball t-shirt that I've had for a little while. I bought a bunch of them from yesterday's fits. I probably paid like, I don't know, $5 to $10 for it. But it sold for the price you see they're $48.99. Plus my Depop is set up so that they are paying for shipping as well. They give me a label, which I like. But yeah, it's just I like this shirt. It's got great graphic, great colors. Mm-hmm. So, yay, Depop.
Still selling vintage blankets, the satin edge blankets. I do not pick up quite as many of them as I used to. they tend to be in poor condition when I've been finding them lately,
Yeah.
and they don't sell as fast or for as much as they once did. But this one I've had for quite a while, and it did sell on sale for $97.26 plus shipping. And I'm very happy to have gotten that. I'm sure I purchased it at the bins, and I probably paid somewhere between $4 to $6 based on based on weight. It wasn't very heavy. It's one of the smaller blankets, even though it's a queen size. It's not bulky. It's not like a comforter.
Yeah. Adrian says men's coats, especially overcoats, are in a lot of the mall windows throughout Southeast Asia, but are being marketed to women.
Interesting. I bet that may have something to do with the trench coat trend too right now, because obviously Asia does have a more of a forward fashion, and as does Europe than the U.S. The U.S. is always behind in fashion. We are always behind, and it goes West Coast to East Coast. So the East Coast fashion takes a little bit longer to get than the West Coast fashion.
All right. Next up for me, so this is not a great sale. However, based on the pictures and what I know about this, I've had this. It's like a fleece sweatshirt. I've had this for freaking ever. It might be from here, but I think it's from Oregon. But I've definitely had it for minimum 5 to 7 years. I thought it was really cool and I picked it up. It's got all kinds of really cool patches on it, including the Sun Microsystems, which I'm usually able to sell stuff like that really quick. It's a ski thing.
It does have cool patches.
Samsung, Kodak. Like, you would think I'd be able to sell it faster, but I've had it for so long and it takes up so much space because it's this really thick, heavy fleece material. And so when I got an offer for $25 on Poshmark, which, the 20% fee, I get $20 in my pocket and they give me a label to ship it. I was like, thank God I'm finally rid of this. It's just one of those things where you're just so happy to finally sell it because it's just been sitting in your inventory for so freaking long. Getting any amount of money for it is a miracle. So I was very happy about it.
And everybody see in the chat there, Adrian says, keep a lookout for hand crochet and hand knit items as well. I agree with that. That's been a bit of a trend for the past couple of years. I always keep an eye out for that type of stuff. Granny square type things. It's super, super popular. This is nothing special, and this is why I wanted to highlight this. It's sold for $48 plus shipping, and it's Macari, so there's no seller doesn't pay any fees, so I got the full $48. But I always pick up tree skirts. If you are someone that likes to decorate for the holidays, as I do, and some of you may know, I have like 10 stupid Christmas trees, which I love. However, every time you're looking for a piece or something to go with a specific theme, tree skirts are expensive. I don't care if you're getting them at Walmart or Big Lots or something like that. They're still expensive. So this one was a nicely made velvet one. It probably cost quite a bit originally. And, the person paid $48 for it that I picked up at the bins for like $3. So if it feels nicely made, if it's heavy material, if it's classic looking, classic style and design, don't hesitate to pick up tree skirts because they will sell, especially now. They're going to start selling.
Yeah, for sure. All right, my last one is this really cool hoodie that I picked up at the bins. What I love about this is it's not vintage. It's freaking Hollister. All right. Freaking Hollister, guys. But I grabbed it because it's like the back of it is this really cool artwork by Francois. Good old Francois. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Frankie VD, as we call him. Right? Frankie VD?
Sure.
Anyway, it stood out to me because it's such a cool, it's like a really interesting like art piece printed on a freaking Hollister hoodie. I guess they were trying to be fancy that season at the old Hollister company. But I sold it for the price you see there, $50. Sold it for $50, and so what? That means I got like to keep 40, and they gave me a label, and I paid like maybe $3 for it. It was a pretty small hoodie, so but yeah.
Okay.
I just bought it for the graphics, and it's just really cool kind of.
It's not always the brand. We never know, right?
I mean, it's freaking Hollister.
Hollister? It's Hollister.
It's Hollister. Come on, Hollister. I sold Hollister for $50. What's up with that? Anyway, so that's it for our sales highlights for this last week. Nothing too crazy. A couple of decent sales, but nothing too crazy. Hopefully this next week it'll pick up again. Who knows? We'll see.
Here's hoping.
But as far as keeping up with, as I said the last couple of weeks, I don't really have any real goals other than trying to keep up with my 10 items a day, which I will say yesterday I failed miserably.
Because
there was no reason why I couldn't have just gone and sat in my office for an hour and a half and banged out 10 listings.
Except we were tired.
But we were freaking tired. And I was just thinking about like the week ahead, actually the next couple of weeks. And it just made me even more tired. And, usually Vicky's the one who will like, she'll get her work done in a timely fashion and then be like, I'm done, and go do some bed rotting with the dogs. And I'm always like, I want to work, and I keep working. So I'm tired when I'm like gladly, voluntarily joining you.
In fact, you almost initiated it, I think.
Well, yesterday. I think you said something like, "Oh, I have to do some work. I do a couple hours," and then I kind of did some peer pressure of telling her that we needed to just do nothing, and so that's what we did.
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't get any listings up yesterday, so I still need to finish my listings for today. I'm kind of in a tough spot where I think I have like, I think I've got like at least I think I've got like a week's worth of listings, like stuff that's photographed and ready to go. But Ryan and Allie are coming on Saturday morning. And so it's like, I don't have my next batch ready to be photographed. I do have like a pile of probably like 40 pieces or so. But I think I need to go to the bins probably maybe Tuesday morning or something like that. I need to go like maybe 2 days this week and bang out some like photographs by the end of the week, so I'm ready for the following week. That's the problem.
And that's the good thing. I mean, that's the good thing about when people that know what you do for a living or do it at the same thing, they don't mind that you're not, people that come and visit us. Obviously, we live in a vacation destination. I love that. We welcome visitors. We love having our friends come and spend time with us. However, it's their vacation and we still have to work, right? Yeah. So you have to try to figure out a balance. Usually we encourage our guests to like sleep in, and we get up early and we do our shipping and try to get, 5 to 10 new items listed and then be ready by mid-morning. Yeah. I just don't want to leave the house and go do stuff.
I just don't want to be doing photographs while they're here. So preferably if we go like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, do like 2 days of hopefully getting quite a bit of stuff at the bins, and then I can process them on Thursday and have them all photographed on Friday, and then that way because like I said, I have enough to list this week, but I need to have my next batch so that like when we do have that little bit of time each day while they're here, I can still do some listing.
All right, that's fair.
So that's kind of my goal for this week, so hopefully you're on board with that, because I think you need to get stuff too.
I do. My lister has, I have nothing built up because we didn't shop this week. So my lister has 75 items. I have nothing to trade her with when she comes back this week. Yeah. So I don't think I'll make it. I might have to give her a week off, which is fine. But I'll have that stuff. And then I have maybe another 25 or 30 items, hard goods that need to be photographed. So I'm the same. I don't have much of a death pile this week. So I definitely have to do some of that. Plus, we're obviously, you guys know, we're working on all the stuff for the Reseller remix.
That is, so we should start making probably mid this week. I'm working on getting the website all updated with all of our new speakers thus far.
They're all confirmed.
And so I know, but sometimes things change. Sometimes people get added. Anyway, so I'm working on that. I'm still waiting on a couple of people to get their bios to me and stuff. So, and with the way our website is, you kind of want to do it all at once, because there's between the mobile view and the formatting is a pain in the butt, you guys. So sometime mid this week, we should, I will be making a post on the Boss Reseller Remix Instagram announcing the first speaker that we'll be announcing. And once we make that announcement, you can head on over to the website, because all the rest of them will be on there as well. We've been working really hard. Vicky's been working really hard on getting us sponsors and stuff. eBay is locked in, which we're excited about. Not that we doubted them, of course, but we're always excited to have eBay partner with us. And so we've got a couple of new sponsors coming in. Of course, List Perfectly as always, being a big supporter of ours again. So we're super excited. Things are moving along.
Things are moving along, and our topics this year are
fantastic.
Phenomenal. The topics are all topics that I am super interested in hearing about. Tommy, yep, Consignment Chats came out with their coloring book. I sponsored it from Boss, by the way. There is a Boss sponsorship in the coloring book.
Nice.
Katie doesn't even know that. I paid for that.
Aren't you freaking special?
But yeah, we have a page in there. The Boss Reseller Remix has a coloring book page.
Very cool.
I have to get one.
But yeah, we've got some great topics. I'm telling you, we got some really, really, really interesting topics this year that I think most people will get something out of every single session.
Working on some really interesting new sponsors this year too. The sponsorships are rolling in, but working with some companies that I have never spoken with or worked with before, and excited about having them have a presence at the Remix for you guys.
Hoping to get some different platforms in. So we're very excited.
And we've gotten some good confirmation from some of the sponsors that have stepped up about some really good raffle prizes again. I mean, every year they really step up. And those of you that have never attended, we have we have a vendor hall at our conference, and all of the vendors that pay to be there, that are sponsors that pay to be there, contribute a really, really good raffle prize. I'm talking up to, we've had a Surface Mac Surface Pro. We've had laptops. We've had Rolos and Hulken bags and gift cards and Southwest gift cards, and just really, really good
iPad minis.
Really, really good raffle items, and everybody that attends gets to qualify for the raffle items. So
the tickets will go on sale December 1st.
We're getting there. We're getting there, guys.
We're getting there. But,
December 1st, and we're keeping the prices reasonable again. That's our goal, is to always make it a value for you as an attendee. We want to make sure you get your money's worth, and
we will have a code for you to get a discount too on the ticket. So don't just go blindly to the website and buy a ticket. You gotta get the code from us.
I mean,
we'll be posting about. You can. I'm just saying, if you want to save a little money, wait till we post about it and we'll let you know. But yeah, so
I can't get the sales prices that you guys get. Do you think a shop needs a certain critical mass of a niche to get sales? I don't think so. See, here's why I'm going to say that. I have very, very few repeat buyers, and I've been selling a focus of vintage items for more than 10 years. I've been selling now since 1998, and I've been full-time since 2010. So that's, this is heading into my 15th year as a full-time seller. And what I've sold has changed a lot over those 15 years. I really have been focused on vintage and vintage women's clothing and men's clothing steadily for about 10 years. However, I listed many, many, many categories, and I am not niched down. A lot of people will niche down. A lot of people do very well if they're selling just shoes, or they sell
niching down does
just
help.
Hats, or they're selling just t-shirts. The more activity you create in a certain category, the more likely you are to sell within that category. That's a normal algorithm thing.
There's things I can sell in the men's category that Vikki has a really hard time selling. It also depends on what kind of things you sell. Depending on what you sell, some people can have 100 listings, 1,000 listings, and do way better than we can. I sell pretty much just clothing, and so with clothing, I do have to have a high number of listings. And so for me, I mean, I'm now approaching 4,000 listings, and I'm on 6 different platforms, and so I don't know like what you sell. I don't know how many you have listed. But when it comes to clothing, you kind of do have to have a pretty decent sized store in order to have kind of regular listing or regular sales and stuff like that.
And especially if it's vintage clothing, because vintage by tradition is long tail.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have long tail items for sale, you have to have more of them available in order to have a significant sell-through amount of dollar amount.
Yeah. I've been able to, like last year was my worst year ever. and I changed my approach, and I've been able to really bring my sales up compared to last year anyway. It's not anything comparable to how I used to be able to do. But a big part of that for me is I had to lower my prices, and I had to add a lot more inventory. I went for a couple of years where I was kind of sticking around 2,200, 2,300 listings. And now I've added probably, well over 1,000 listings to my stores. And so of course that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, I've almost doubled my store size in the last 5 years. So
You have how many listings?
I have just under 5,000 listings, and even though I've almost doubled my store size, my average sale price has gone down, and my sales in general have gone down, and that is kind of across the board for a lot of people. The economy, yes, that's part of it. But people's buying habits and spending habits have just changed, and that's life. It's cyclical, right? At some point, it's going to come back up, but it takes time to do things and to change things and to change your store. Like anything else, I'm never going to tell people to stick with this if you're not making money. Please don't go into debt to do this as a job. This is not worth that for anyone. But if you stick with it and stick with consistency, you will see results. And by consistency, I mean consistently listing, consistently buying. And don't just buy something because it was cheap or because it was free and given to you, or it was $1 on a clearance rack. If it was $1 on a clearance rack, nobody fucking wants it. And that means nobody on eBay is going to want it either. So you have to learn to differentiate what something is valuable enough to make someone else want to buy it.
Yeah.
Cheap doesn't mean worth it necessarily. And I'm not saying that's how you buy. I don't know what your store looks like. I'm just saying as a general consensus. And, while I understand eBay and Etsy and a little, I kind of don't really understand Poshmark, but I just throw shit up against a wall and hope it fits, hope it sells. I am definitely not the be all and end all as far as a seller goes. I mean, I went from making $15,000 a month to making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. Yeah. So, and I sell even more than I used to before. I offer even more than I used to before. So the market has changed, and I think we're all just trying to find our place within that market. And one of the things about, I don't know if you've ever attended our event, the Boss Reseller Remix, but if you haven't, if you have the opportunity and you have the capability to invest in yourself and invest in your business, one of the really good things about our event is that we endeavor to teach sellers many, many different ways in order to sell and increase their business. Yep. In whatever way that may be for you. Maybe it's a different platform you've never heard of. Maybe it's a different way of sourcing you've never heard of. Maybe it's a different way of hiring, all those type of things. We try to give you applicable tools for your business. Yep. In every session. And I think this year what we have to offer is better than we have the previous 3 years. And every year I'm like, I don't think we can do it again. I don't think we're going to have as good content. And this year I'm blown away by the content. I think it's going to be awesome. We decided we're trying something new this year. We talked about it with Teresa, and we decided we were going to try. In the past, we've done a mixture of panels and like presentations, and we're trying this year, this next event, we're going to go 100% presentations, because that's where you have one, maximum two people. We have a couple of two people teams that are doing a presentation together, but they're able to really get into the topic that they're talking about deeply, with lots of really, really rich information that you can use in concrete ways to improve your businesses. So I'm very excited about it, for sure. So I am excited too. And I just saw in the chat, Kathy said she's driving up from Tucson when she comes to. Kathy, we're going to be in Tucson for a wedding in January. I know. I'm going to have to hit you up and find out what good sourcing areas there are down there. We'll have to, because I think we're going to spend a day. Maybe we can meet up for a Sonora dog. Ooh, yeah, Kathy, we could meet up for lunch. Anyway, all right, so I think we're a little bit early here, but that's okay. We got stuff to do. But hey, guys, we really appreciate you spending your Sunday afternoon, early evening with us, depending on where you are in the country. We appreciate you, and we hope that the rest of your weekend goes really well, and that you have an amazing week, and you stay safe and sane. And get out and vote if you haven't voted
If you
already.
haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote.
Go ahead and vote.
And then
Exercise that right while you can.
turn everything off so that you can make it through. And hopefully things will go back to semi-normal soon. But yeah, I think that's about it. What do you got anything to say?
I got nothing else.
You got nothing else?
I got nothing else.
All right, guys. We will see you later. Thank you so much.
Have a great Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.